Welcome to the Bible Answer Man broadcast with Christian Research Institute President Hank Hanegraaff. Our mission at CRI is not only to equip you with Christian doctrine, apologetic accuracy, and discernment, but to help you become a faithful apprentice of Jesus Christ because life and truth matter. If you'd like to know more about CRI and the Bible Answer Man broadcast, call 888-7000-CRI, 888-7000-CRI, or go to our website at equip.org. That's equip.org. The following program was pre-recorded. And now, here's Hank Hanegraaff.
Thank you very much, Randy. A lot of you hanging on. We'll go right to the phone calls. First up is Terry listening in Arcadia, Wisconsin, Sirius XM 131. Hi, Terry.
How you doing, Hank?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Hey, I had a question about salvation and pornography, and I suffer from pornography. I'm sure I'm not the only male caller you ever had that spoke to you about it, but I guess my question is, I backslide sometimes. I always ask God to forgive me, and I can go months without looking at anything but I backslide. I ask God to forgive me, and I try to go on and do the best I can. And I listened to one gentleman before your show, and he was saying that sometimes, God would just turn you over to your sin, and I don't understand the meaning of that, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, does God ever get tired of you constantly coming and asking for forgiveness, and I believe in God with all my heart, and I'm trying to do the right thing, and I know in the Bible it says that, God has healed the sick, He's healed the deaf, He healed the blind, and I asked God, can you just allow me to wake up and not even think about any of this stuff anymore? And I think I'm looking for an answer overnight, and I don't know, Hank.
Yeah. Well, Terry, a couple of things that I would say to you about all of this. First of all, what a wonderful thing to hear that you are asking God for forgiveness. John says in his first epistle that if you confess your sin, He is faithful and just. He will forgive you of your sin, and He will cleanse you of all unrighteousness. But I think it's important that you take very practical steps and don't try to solve this by yourself. Oftentimes, this kind of a behavior, which ties you up like cords would physically bind a person, this kind of behavior needs an accountability group, needs people who can stand with you through the process. And it's one of the reasons that I have so often recommended the game plan by Joe Dallas. It's called the Men's 30-Day Strategy for Attaining Sexual Integrity. And it does give you a really good system whereby you can deal with the perversion and help you over it in, as I say, a systematic way. So I think it's important that you take measured steps so that you don't keep falling into the same sin. But is God tired of you asking for forgiveness when you ask for forgiveness with a sincere heart? Of course not. He is ready to forgive you. And all of us recognize that we are sinners in small and large ways. Even the Apostle Paul said, "Oh, what a wretched man I am. The good that I would, I don't do. The evil that I would not, I do. Who can save me from this body of death?" So even the great Apostle Paul, who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament epistles, struggled with sin and its powerful lure. So again, you can't use that as a cop-out, but you can recognize how important it is to have a game plan. In anything in life, if you want to be successful, you have to have a game plan. And I'm particularly excited about Joe Dallas having written this book. In fact, I encouraged him to write this book and endorsed this book because I thought that there's probably no one on the planet that knows how to deal with this subject better than Joe Dallas. And so, again, I recommend that to you highly as a step that you can take in the right direction.
All righty. Okay. I appreciate it, Hank.
You got it. We'll be thinking about you and praying for you. And as I wrote on the back of this book, no one understands the subject better than Joe Dallas, and nowhere is there a more biblical and user-friendly game plan for Christian men committed to reclaiming moral purity, a resource no man should be without. And again, you can find this book on the web at equip.org. Back to the phone lines. We'll talk to Jim next, Liberty, Missouri. Hi, Jim.
Hello, Hank. I've got a question along the same lines as that gentleman. I committed a sin. I viewed pornography on a work computer, and now I have confessed that to my boss and to my wife, and I'm through that part, and I know that I'm forgiven. But I'm wondering if it is a sin to pray for leniency or deliverance from the consequences. I'm waiting to hear what my employer intends to do.
No, it's not a sin at all. I mean, the great quintessential king of Israel asked for mercy. Have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love, according to your great compassion, blot out my transgression. So no, there's nothing wrong with praying that God would show you mercy in this circumstance. I think it's a perfectly legitimate prayer, and were I in the same circumstance as you were, I would pray that prayer and probably recite Psalm 51 over and over again as my way of making this prayer to the Lord.